Hey everybody, Cinema Sickness here with your daily sickness video, and happy Saturday to each and every one of you. Yes, Saturday, finally here upon us. You gotta love that. It might still be very cold, but it will be warming up and then getting cold again. But at least it's the weekend, so whatever. Hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic weekend thus far. Tomorrow, I have something really cool to show you guys. Really cool to show you guys, so stay tuned for that. But for now, what we're going to take a look at are what I've been watching over, or what we're going to take a look at is, not are, is what I've been watching over the last week. We got some reviews for you guys here, so very cool. We're going to just dive right into this one. Not going to blabber on too much. Let's just get right down to it, because there's a lot to talk about here, because I've been watching a lot of movies over the week. Always try to watch at least one movie a day, but I've been watching about 2 movies a day over the last week. Been able to get in an extra movie, so very awesome. You gotta love that. One quick thing though before we get into this, I do want to say, like always, spoilers. Possibility of spoilers in this video. When I review my movies, I just hold the movie, say here's what I watch, and I just start talking. Whatever comes out of my mouth, kind of comes out of my mouth. Sometimes I give away spoilers. Not all the time, but sometimes I do. So just fair warning, there might be the possibility of some spoilers. So with that being said, let's dive in. Excuse me. I came prepared. I actually brought a soda with me this time. So my throat gets dry. I actually did something to drink. So anyway, first I checked out was Bounty Killer. This was a fun movie. And the reason I watched this is because, as you guys know, just last week I watched Sweetwater. Sweetwater, as I said, was fantastic. An absolutely amazing, amazing Western. See it. It's great. Highly recommend checking Sweetwater out. But before Sweetwater started up, there was a trailer for a bunch of movies, and one of the movies was this right here, Bounty Killer. I'm looking at it thinking, this looks awesome. This looks like a really good movie. And then it just dawned on me. I'm like, wait, you know what? I own that movie. I actually picked that up. I think I might have picked this up along with Sweetwater, actually. So I was like, I gotta watch that, because I have it. I gotta check it out. This is put out by Arc Entertainment. It's a Kickstart production, which is also what Sweetwater was. So I gotta check out more of their movies, because I've liked 2 of them thus far. I gotta see what else they put out. I'll probably like more of them, who knows. So I definitely had to watch this one, and it was great. As it says, The Road Warrior meets Kill Bill. I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd say Road Warrior or Kill Bill. It is a post-apocalyptic type movie, but not so sure if I'd say Kill Bill or Road Warrior at all. But anyway, it is a fun post-apocalyptic movie. It's action, it's comedy, it's fantastic. This movie was really good. If you love your just kind of like I would say this is almost has a feel of like kind of like an early 90s action movie, but with like some more like kind of like modern day kind of comedy. The comedy doesn't really feel like 90s comedy. It feels like modern day comedy, but it is awesome. It is worth checking out. This movie was a lot of fun. Again, a post-apocalyptic movie. Pretty cool to see what's happened to the world and all these bounty killers and what, you know, they're going out and hunting down. It's really cool because they're going down hunting down like big business people, like white collar people. It's very cool, very interesting. It's a really neat idea. I've never really seen this kind of twist on a post-apocalyptic world where you're not hunting down like bad guys. Well, you're not hunting down like your typical bad guys. You're hunting down like your capitalistic bad guys. I think that's pretty cool. That's interesting. Your big business bad guys. That's pretty interesting. So very cool. Bounty Killer, check this out. It's a lot of fun. I picked this up for $1 at Dollar Tree. If you come across it for a good price, grab it. It's a lot of fun. Definitely recommend this one. Then I finished up the complete first season of Dragon Ball Z. As you guys know, I just finished Dragon Ball. Oh my god, that I love the hell of the Dragon Ball. I see I see what all the hype is about. Dragon Ball was fantastic. Now, that being said, it was a little bit difficult to get into Dragon Ball Z at first, because, you know, characters, I mean, you still have the same characters. It's literally a direct continuation from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z. There's no, like, I mean, there's some changes, but it is a direct continuation, which is pretty cool. I love that. It's a very seamless flow into the new series. But some things have changed a little bit here and there. I mean, getting used to some new characters. Really, the hardest part was getting used to the narrator. That was the hardest part for me. I enjoyed the narrator from Dragon Ball, but now we have a new one for Dragon Ball Z, and my problem with him is the fact that his voice, I'm assuming he's like, whoever does the voice of the narrator also does the voice of some characters from the series, and I'm going to say that because there are times when it gets to the end of the episode and the narrator comes on, because the episode's over and the narrator starts talking, and I'm thinking to myself for like a couple seconds that who's talking is a character like off screen, because his voice sounds just like some of the people's voices from the actual show, and it throws me off. They really should have got somebody with a much different voice. That kind of bugged me a little bit, but I've gotten used to it now. I got used to new characters and all the new stories and stuff like that. You know, I mean, I've just gone from watching 5 seasons of one series, and I'm now into another series. So again, it took like a couple episodes for me to get used to all the new stuff, all the new changes, but it works. It's great. I'm loving the episode Hello Dragon Ball Z as well. You know, as the story progressed and built up, I was like, yeah, getting into this more and more and more and more and more, until finally I'm like, this is awesome. I've got to see what happens next. Now I'm on to season 2, and I'm just loving it so much. I mean, season 1 starts off with a bang too. It starts off the series, the new season, the new series. It starts it off very well. So Dragon Ball Z, I'm loving it. And as I said, guys, if you have not gotten into Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z, I hear GT's bad, but whatever. If you haven't got any of those series yet, check them out. They're fantastic. Then it was Friday the 13th, so I watched Friday the 13th, Part 3. And I did something interesting, something I've actually never, ever done before. Believe it or not, I've never done this. I watched it in 3D with these lovely red and blue glasses. Pretty cool glasses. Look like the hockey mask. That's awesome, which he gets for the first time in Part 3. Yeah, I've never done this because I know these suck. I remember even in, like, I think it was, like, elementary school, every now and then we'd have, like, an assembly or something like that, and some guy would come by and be showing off, like, these videos and whatnot. We'd all gather in, like, the auditorium, and they'd have a big screen up, and they'd be showing videos and stuff, and it'd be all 3D. I remember even back then, we didn't have red and blue glasses. We had the clear glasses, like, you know, glasses just like that. That's what our glasses look like back in the day. And I remember thinking to myself how weird that was. I was like, wow, these aren't red and blue glasses. Because the only time I ever used red and blue glasses, I remember I had like comic books and stuff that were like in 3D when you used them. I had those, but I never watched a movie with them. Never went to the movie theaters where I had to use those glasses. Never did anything like that. And again, even when like people came by in elementary school and stuff like that, we didn't use those glasses. We used the other glasses. So this is my first time ever watching a movie with those horrible red and blue glasses. I've never bothered to do that because I knew it was going to look like crap. I knew it was going to look like garbage. I've been told it looks like garbage, but I thought, hell with it. Let's do it. Let's sit down. Let's watch it with those glasses. Let's see what this is all about. Oh, it was bad. I got like a headache halfway through the movie. I was like, I had a hard time doing it. I spent a lot of the movie like with the glasses like this because it just it was hard. I mean, when something 3D would come up, I'd flip them on really quick and watch like, you know, whatever was happening in like 3D, where like stuff was coming out the camera and whatnot. But anytime, like towards the end of the movie, anytime when like nothing 3D was going on, I was watching it like this because it was really starting to hurt my eyes. Everything, of course, was like red and blue. It looked bad. Really, really bad. It just looked horrible. This needs a proper 3D Blu-ray release. I hope it happens someday because this red and blue stuff is garbage. I guess I'm sure you guys know. I'm sure many of you have watched movies in that with those glasses before. But hey, this is my first time doing it. I never wanted to. I never could bring myself to doing it because I knew it was gonna look really bad. But you know, as a film buff, I was like, it's about time I finally do it. I should finally at least watch one movie with those glasses, and it looked like crap. So anyway, great movie though. I love Friday the 13th Part 3. It's so much fun. Again, Jason's, when he gets the hockey mask, it's the first time he gets the hockey mask because obviously the first movie isn't Jason as the killer, which I don't think is a spoiler. I'm sure we all know that. It's Mrs. Voorhees. Second movie, he has the burlap sack over his face, you know, with the one eye hole. And then in this one, he finally gets the hockey mask, which is great. So I love this movie. It's great. One of my favorite in the series. And it needs a proper 3D Blu-ray release so I can watch it with real 3D glasses, not this crap. So anyway, very cool, great movie. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen this movie, there's no reason why not to see it. See every Friday the 13th movie, every single one, all 10 of them plus Freddy vs. Jason. You don't need to see the reboot one. That one was horrible. That was such a bad movie. But this one's awesome. Check it out. All right. Then it was Valentine's Day, and I thought to myself, what do I want to watch? Do I want to watch My Bloody Valentine, you know, the original or the remake, both great movies in my opinion. You know, I've seen those so many times. I thought, well, maybe I'll watch Valentine. I haven't seen Valentine in a while. Good horror movie, you know, cheesy 90s slasher horror movie. Haven't seen in a while. Thought about watching that, but then I remember there was actually one movie I had that was a Valentine's Day movie that I've not checked out yet. This was still factory sealed. I hadn't even opened it up yet, so I thought I'm watching it, and that is the Caveman's Valentine, starring Samuel L. Jackson. this was a decent movie. I really enjoyed this. This kind of crime thriller. Samuel L. Jackson plays this kind of this guy who went to Juilliard and is like this great musician. Is a bit crazy, unfortunately, and now he lives in a cave, and he has an ex-wife, and he has a daughter, but he's gone crazy now. Lives in a cave, the Caveman's Valentine. So he's a homeless guy living in a cave now, and he thinks these people are like after him. He's all paranoid. Ends up finding this dead body, and then he ends up solving this case of who this dead body was from. Now, of course, he's kind of going under the impression that it was done by these people who he think are after him, but he ends up basically solving this case because he just wants to kind of get to the bottom of like these people who are supposedly after him, and again ends up solving this murder case, which is really, really, really interesting. Very, very cool thriller of a movie. So as it says, an ingenious thriller. I'd agree. Caveman's Valentine, very cool, and there's not a ton of Valentine's Day movies out there, so this is awesome. It takes place on Valentine's Day, so well, around Valentine's Day anyway, so definitely worth checking out. Great movie. Samuel Jackson's really cool in it too, playing like a psychopath, just a guy who's just completely off his rocker. 1 minute he kind of seems cool and good and with it, and then he just like at the drop of a dime snaps and kind of goes into the crazy mode, and it's pretty cool. So great movie, check it out. Then I actually went out to the theater and watched a movie, and that was the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, Sponge Out of Water. I had free tickets to go see it, so me and my friend Daniela and I, my friend Daniela is like a big fan of CGI animated films, so we went and saw it, and I loved it. Her and I, we were laughing constantly. We both love SpongeBob. I'm a big fan of SpongeBob. I have all 8 seasons that have been released, plus the movie, the original movie. I love it. It's great. Fair warning, though, be warned, the trailers are extremely misleading. I'm sure you've heard by now, but the trailers are extremely misleading in the sense that the trailers make it look like the whole movie is SpongeBob and Patrick and Squidward and Mr. Krabs. Everybody, Sandy, everybody out of, as it says, sponge out of water. Like they're out of the water, they're on land. It makes it look like a CGI animated movie with them on the beach and doing whatever they have to do out of water. That's what it makes it look like. That's like the last 15 minutes or so of the movie. The entire rest of the movie, it's just a SpongeBob movie. It's typical SpongeBob animation. It all takes place under the sea. It looks just like a regular episode of SpongeBob. It's just the last 15 minutes where they do go to the land, and they explain it pretty well. I was even thinking to myself, how are they going to do this? Like SpongeBob, he needs water to live. We've seen in episodes where he can't survive out of water, and neither can, I guess Patrick probably couldn't either and stuff like that. So I'm like, how are they gonna do this? They do explain it, which I thought was pretty cool. They do actually explain what's happening there, so I thought that was great. But again, that's only the last 15 minutes of the movie where they go out of water. The rest of the movie, again, they're all underwater doing their thing, and it's great. It's really enjoyable. Bottom line, if you are a SpongeBob fan, there's no reason not to see this movie. It is a great SpongeBob movie. If you are a SpongeBob fan, you are going to like it. You're going to love it. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to find it extremely funny. Even though the trailer's very misleading, even though it makes it look like the whole movie takes place out of water, that's only the last 15 minutes. But that's okay. That's not a big deal. I heard some people complain about that, thinking, oh, the whole movie should have been them out of water. Why? I don't think so. I liked it this way. I like the fact that that was just a small part of the movie. I like the fact that it was, a typical SpongeBob movie. I like the fact that they were under, losing the pineapple under the sea. SpongeBob SquarePants and the rest of the gang, they're all under the sea. I like the fact that it takes place underwater as opposed to out of water. I think it actually made more sense. I think it was better, and I just think the movie's better for it. It should have been that way. But yeah, kind of ridiculous how absolutely misleading the trailers are. It kind of shame on Paramount for doing that. They really should have not led folks. It's just so many people are complaining about that. I hear so many people that I know who saw the movie. A lot of people at my work, like parents who don't like SpongeBob, but their kids do. Even they were complaining. I mean, a lot of people were upset about it. I can understand being upset about it. It is misleading. Paramount shouldn't have done it, but I think the movie was great, so I didn't really care. But then, since it was Valentine's Day weekend, I figured, you know what, I gotta watch them, especially this one. I watched My Bloody Valentine 3D, because this is the actual 3D version. Oh, no, you know what? I grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed my red and blue glasses one. This is actually wrong. I do have the actual 3D Blu-ray. It's sitting over there. I grabbed the wrong one. But I assure you, I do have the 3D Blu-ray version of this, and I wanted to watch it because I had never seen, I lied. I did see this movie in 3D. I saw it in 3D when I was in the theaters. That was the last time I had seen this movie in 3D. Since then, I have had it on. I own this movie on DVD. Then I rebought it on Blu-ray, but of course, I refused to watch it with these horrible glasses because I knew it was going to be like garbage, so I didn't. And then finally, I got the actual 3D Blu-ray, and I was like, all right, gotta watch this again. I was kind of let down by the 3D. For some reason, I thought I remember the 3D in the movies being better. I don't know, maybe it looked better on the big screen, but honestly, I thought the 3D was kind of not that well done. I think it was all a depth of field type thing. It just seemed like stuff had too much. The depth of field was just kind of like off. It almost seemed like when let's say like the handle of the axe was sticking out, supposed to be coming out at you. The very top of the axe, very crisp, very clear, but then like right after that, it just went like blurry, really like so blurry. And I think they blurred too much out, where it just kind of made everything kind of like washed out a little bit. The 3D just didn't work all that well. The 3D almost looked blurry a little bit. It almost looked too blurry, and that's because I think they just made too much of the things popping out of you. Too much of it was out of focus. They really should have made more of it in focus. I think that's the issue. I don't know. So unfortunately, I was kind of let down. The 3D just didn't work as well as I thought I had remember it working. Again, maybe it looked different on the big screen. I am watching on the 65-inch TV here, but maybe actually in the theaters it looked a little different. I don't know. I thought I remember looking and working better, but I wasn't impressed by the Blu-ray. It just didn't look all that great. I was kind of let down by the 3D, unfortunately. But with that being said, I love it. This is a great remake. This is really cool. It's interesting. It follows the original, sort of. It's really just a remake, kind of like based on the original, because it is its own movie. The plot is a bit different. There are some new twists and turns. It's not just a word-for-word remake. It's not even a remake that's going to make you completely think of the original. It's just like they went, all right, we like the original. It's a good story, but let's kind of do our own thing with that story. That's kind of what I felt was done with this movie, and it worked. This is actually one of the few times where I'm like, it's a remake worth seeing. It's actually a decent remake. I enjoy this one. It is well done. So I would recommend it. If you haven't seen My Bloody Valentine 3D, check it out. Like I said, do you need to see it in 3D? No. Again, I wasn't all that impressed with the 3D on the 3D Blu-ray. It's one of the few times where I've just been like, that wasn't that good. But it is definitely worth checking out any way you can get this. DVD, Blu-ray 3D, whatever. Check it out. It's a fantastic remake, definitely worth seeing. I actually really do enjoy this one. And after I watched that, I went, the hell with it. It's been a little while. I gotta check it out again. I watched the original My Bloody Valentine. I've seen this movie like a dozen times, but it's been maybe like 2 years or so since I last watched it. I thought, all right, let's check it out. Let's watch it. I love this movie. This is an absolutely fantastic slasher. Big fan of this movie. It's really well done. I also like this Blu-ray because it comes with the extended like kill scenes added in. Unfortunately, well, fortunately and unfortunately, it has some bad things where they done a good job, making this, updating this in the high definition. It looks good, a good transfer. It's just when you watch the extended scenes, they get very grainy, and you can tell like a kill is about to come up, and all of a sudden, like the picture quality changes to something not nearly as good. And then you have this great extended kill scene. So unfortunately, a lot of the scenes were edited down when the movie was released. The theatrical cut had a lot of the gore edited out, which is a shame because if you watch it with all the extended scenes cut in, you're going to see it and go, that looks awesome. There's so many great, gory, fantastic scenes, and they look beautiful. If you are a gore hound, if you like great special effects, fantastic special effects. If you are a special effects fan, you're going to absolutely love the extended deaths. It is worth seeing. I recommend watch that cut. Yes, it is kind of weird the video quality changes when you get to the extended kill scenes, but it doesn't take away from it. It doesn't ruin it. And when it's coming up. You're like, oh, here comes a cool kill, and you get to it's coming. It's pretty awesome. So, My Bloody Valentine. If you have not seen this one and you are a fan of slashers, do yourself a favor. Buy this immediately. It's one of the greatest, in my opinion. Right up there with Friday the 13th and Halloween. It's brilliant. And again, the remake is also very good as well. So watch them both. Check them out. Alright. Now on to a movie that a lot of you guys said was horrible. I heard some people say some good things, but when I mentioned that I got this, a lot of you guys were saying how absolutely wretched this movie was. So I went into this thinking, this probably isn't going to be very good. I thought it was great. And that is A Million Ways to Die in the West. As it says, from the guy who brought you Ted. I really did not care all that much for Ted. I didn't think Ted was bad, but, you know, it's a Seth MacFarlane movie, and, you know, as is this, there he is right there. Ted just seemed like a long version of an episode of Family Guy. It just, the jokes were just, see, I like Family Guy, but I can only take it for so long. You know, a little 20-minute episode, that's enough Family Guy for me, you know, at a time. Too much of it, I'm just like, this is kind of, you know, I don't know. I am a Family Guy fan, but I gotta take it in little pieces. And Ted just seemed like a really long episode of Family Guy. The jokes were just kind of like, I don't know. They just didn't really work for me. I just did not get behind Ted. And so many people out there, I mean, it's getting a sequel. So many people out there were just constantly saying, like, Ted's the funniest movie I've ever seen. I was like, I gotta see this movie. And when I bought it and watched it, I was like, it was all right. Like, I wasn't blown away by it. It let me down. I found it disappointing. And Ted, I didn't hate the movie, but I certainly didn't love it either. Will I ever watch Ted again? I mean, maybe, but I have no, like, interest as of right now, I have no interest in, like, watching Ted again. I'm sure I will somewhere down the line. In fact, once I pick up the sequel, because I'll buy the sequel when it comes out, I'll probably rewatch the original again, and then rewatch the sequel. But, again, it just didn't do it for me. It was just okay. Whereas A Million Ways to Die in the West, I thought this was very enjoyable, a fun Western comedy. And I love Western comedies. That's one thing. I love Westerns. I love Western comedies. And this was a lot of fun. I thought the jokes worked more. They weren't so in your face. They weren't so Family Guy-ish. I didn't feel like I didn't feel like I was watching a long episode of Family Guy. I felt like I was watching just a funny Western comedy. That's what it was. And yeah, some of the jokes were a little Seth MacFarlane-y in the fact that, you know, you watch it like, all right, that's definitely a Seth MacFarlane joke. I mean, I think it was written by like 3 different guys. But, yeah, it was written by 3 different guys. But, you know, some jokes you felt really Seth MacFarlane-ish. Like, I remember, like, the movie starts off, and I was a little worried. The movie starts off right away with, like, a blowjob joke with the shadows, and I was like, oh boy, is this where we're gonna go? Is it gonna be one of these type of movies? You know, very Seth MacFarlane-y, very raunchy, very just, you know, all these, like, just BJ jokes constantly, stuff like that, you know, over and over and over again. It starts off like that, and then very quickly goes into something much better. So, it worked, and I thought this was great. I was not let down by this. I thought this was much better than Ted, in my opinion. I know I'm in a minority of people who think that. Most people are gonna probably think Ted's the better. When I bought this, when I picked this, I got this on Listia. A lot of you guys are like, I love Ted. I did not care for this movie, so I'm sure a lot of you out there liked Ted more. Personally, I don't feel that way. I thought Ted was just okay. I thought this was great. A great Western comedy. This, I want to watch again. I'm already in the mood. Like, I kind of want to see this again. This is fun. I love the love story. I think another reason why people maybe didn't like this is because there was a lot of downtime. It felt like a Western comedy. It wasn't just like joke, like, again, Ted was. Like, again, like an episode of Family Guy where they just kind of keep throwing the jokes at you to keep you laughing, keep you entertained, keep you chuckling. It wasn't like that. There was downtime. There was an actual story, you know, the plot, and they actually told a story with this one. I mean, I know Ted had a story, but it wasn't a story told by constant jokes. They actually had some story and some character development and things like that in this movie that, for me, made it work. I think I like the fact that there was some downtime in between jokes. It wasn't just like a joke on top of a joke on top of a joke on top of a joke, kind of like Ted was. So I would recommend this. See this. It was great in my opinion. I know a lot of you probably don't think the same, but I loved it. If you're like me, you just thought Ted was okay. Maybe you're not gonna watch. You didn't think about watching this one because you didn't really like Ted. No, if you thought Ted was just okay, see A Million Ways to Die in the West. You might actually enjoy this one. I thought it was great. If you like Western comedies, see it. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I love the movie. I know a lot of you don't, unfortunately, but I loved it. All right. Then a movie that I don't really feel all that comfortable really talking about, but I'll give my kind of quick thoughts on it. Birdman. The reason why I don't feel right reviewing this movie, it's really one of those movies that I think I need to watch a few times. It's an artsy movie. This movie's not going to be for everybody. It's very artsy. There's a lot of, like, you know, hidden meanings and stuff like that in this movie. And I don't feel right necessarily talking about it because I feel like there was a lot of stuff that I really need to, like, watch again that maybe I didn't pick up on the first time. Little subtle things here and there. you know, what this scene represented this, and this scene represented that. Things like that, little things that represented certain stuff. Because again, it's very artsy. It's a very, very artsy film. And movies like that, I really feel I need to watch, like maybe like a second time. So I already know what's going on. Now I can focus on all the hidden like innuendos and hidden meanings and stuff like that, and what what this scene represents, because it's one of those movies. So yeah, I really need to feel I don't feel I can give this a proper review without watching it a second time, but I did enjoy it. It was an enjoyable story. Again, it's very artsy. There's going to be a lot of weird scenes and stuff like that done for artistic purposes, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was great. I thought I thought, again, I thought it was very well done. It is artsy. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it besides that. I think Michael Keaton was great in it. He did a great job in this movie. Michael Keaton was fantastic. Everybody in this movie was actually really good. Emma Stone was great. Just everybody was really, really fantastic in this movie. Everybody played their roles like to a T. I thought everybody was just phenomenal in this movie. But again, it is an artsy film, so it's not going to be for everybody. I've already talked to some people about this movie who are like, I didn't like it, I didn't get it, stuff like that. It is going to be one of those movies. For me, again, I thought it was very well done, thought it was enjoyable. I would recommend checking it out, but I just don't feel I can give a proper review on it until I've watched it a second time to really wrap my head around like everything that was going on and to fully get the movie. I do think I'm going to need to watch it a second time, in my opinion. So I'll give it a better review eventually. But for now, I would say it's worth checking out. It is enjoyable, but maybe like you're going to be like me. I need to watch it a second time to fully comprehend and understand everything that's going on. I mean, not that I didn't understand what was going on, but I want to be able to take it in a little bit better than I did. So I'll rewatch it again and give a second thought on it. So anyway, all right. Then I watched Dirty Love. Yep. This was not so good. I wasn't expecting much with Dirty Love. I mean, it's a Jenny McCarthy movie. I wasn't really expecting very much with it, and I didn't get very much. It was very mediocre romantic comedy. It wasn't very, I shouldn't say it wasn't very funny. It wasn't funny at all. There was like no funny jokes in this at all. Jenny McCarthy, yeah, you kind of, I guess you love her or hate her. She's something you gotta get used to. Her brand of comedy, she just screams and yells and just acts like I'm crazy. Like that's her way of being funny. If you like that, hey, good. If not, then you're probably not gonna enjoy this movie. And it's just a whole lot of her just screaming and yelling and acting like an insane person because that's her type of comedy. As far as eye candy goes, plenty of eye candy. I mean, yeah, Jenny McCarthy, plenty of eye candy in there. Very weird scene of, she comes out of this restaurant all upset and she's freaking out. And of course doing her wild, oh, crazy thing. And her boob falls out. And then her friend's like, oh, your tits out. And she's like, what? Oh, I don't care. She rips both her boobs out and just starts like shaking them all over the place. It's kind of weird because she's like literally flopping her boobs all over the place. It's very weird. That was a very interesting scene. Only real nudity scene in it, but, very strange scene. Yeah, I can't recommend this one. It wasn't good. It wasn't enjoyable. It was not funny. The story was just, It's Jenny McCarthy. She gets dumped by this guy who she thinks is great, and she's so upset. She's trying to find love, and she's trying to go on all these dates, and nothing's working out. Everybody guy's a complete loser, and it's horrible, one horrible day after another. And of course, this whole time, one of her good friends is absolutely in love with her and wants to be with her. And at the very end, she realizes maybe this is the guy I should be with. I should be with my best friend. And they get together and everybody lives happily ever after. It's crap. That's all I can say. I really did not enjoy this movie, and I wouldn't recommend it. Stay away. I can't even see the eye candy is that good because Jenny McCarthy, I mean, she was okay in it. Carmen Electra's in the movie, but she's not really eye candy. She's playing this like super ghetto chick who is almost a little racist because she talks as though she's I know it's kind of racist to say this, but they do bring it up in this movie, so I don't feel too racist saying this because they do bring it up. She talks like she's black. I know, like, oh, what's that supposed to mean? But they even mentioned this movie where actually the lead singer of Sum 41 actually says to Carmen Electra, like, you know you're white, right? And she's like, what? Don't ever call me white again. You know, something like that. She talks in this like super ghetto accent and whatnot, and she's not funny at all. In fact, she's actually rather annoying in the movie. So I just, whatever. I'm done talking about it. Dirty Love, stay away. It's not worth seeing. It's a garbage movie. I didn't go into it expecting very much, but I was expecting more than what I got, unfortunately, which maybe that was stupid of me. And then I finally checked out 42. This was a very enjoyable movie. This I really enjoyed, although it makes me wonder how much of this was, again, like I always say when it comes to these movies, how much of it was true, how much of it was Hollywood. As soon as the movie starts off, it specifically says this story is based upon true events. So I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder how much this is real. I wonder how much this is made up. There's many scenes in this movie where I'm like, that might have been made up. A lot of like, there were so many lines in this movie that just felt forced almost. I don't necessarily know how to explain it too much, but just certain lines that I felt were like people being racist and stuff like that. You know, I know people are racist. I know, especially, I mean, it's bad nowadays, but I know back in the day it was even worse. But there were some certain lines where I'm like, that was like, that felt forced. Even if for somebody who's supposed to be racist, that felt forced. Like, lines like that, there were just certain things where I was like, yeah, I don't really know about certain lines and stuff. But of course, you know, it's not like this stuff was being recorded, so of course that part of the story's made up. But just certain lines like that, a few scenes here and there that I was like, I wonder if that really happened. Things like that. But all in all, it was a very enjoyable story. And even if it's not complete, even if it's even a story based on true events, even if it's not like everything in this movie is really stuff that happened, many of the things did actually really happen. It is based around actual true events, and the story is very interesting. So I would recommend 42. Very well done, very enjoyable. Again, some of it might be a bit Hollywoody, but in the end, it was a very enjoyable story. I loved it. I would recommend it. I will be watching this one again. Very, very enjoyable. Even if you don't like sports movies, very enjoyable. And then I watched a movie that apparently a lot of you guys absolutely loved, Versus. I have this double feature set. I checked out Versus, and a lot of you guys said I had to check it out when I picked this up, because I said I hadn't seen either of these movies. A lot of you guys, some of you guys said definitely check out Death Trance, but most of you said check out Versus. It's great. And it was an enjoyable movie. I loved it. It's this interesting story about these like Japanese gangsters. I don't want to say like Yakuza, because they're I don't think they are. They don't have tattoos. But these like Japanese gangsters, and they go out to the woods to kill these people, and apparently this is where like they bury their dead like all the time. But it turns out it's like a forest of like resurrection, and they didn't realize it. And they go out to this these woods, this forest, and zombies appear, and they're trying to kill these zombies. Of course, they're not dying, and they're freaking out. And then I love one of the characters. All of a sudden, the characters is like, wait a minute, all these zombies are coming back. This is where we bury all our dead people. We come out here all the time to kill people. These are all our enemies out here. All of a sudden, they just start coming up from the ground. They're like surrounded by like their enemies, the people who they've killed in the past, but all zombified now. It's fun. It's an enjoyable movie. A whole lot more of a plot than that. It's not just the zombies. There's this whole plot of like one guy who wants to like get this power to like, you know, resurrection, live forever. This other guy wants it as well. Weird twist ending that I kind of felt was, yeah, I felt the twist ending was a little like I don't know if we really needed that. I felt that was a little like tacked on or something, or just kind of pointless. It just seemed like the story was fine without the twist ending, in my opinion. But very enjoyable. A lot of great fun martial arts scenes. So there's lots of great fighting in here. Some of the characters are funny. Some of them are annoying. Some of them are just really cheesy and over the top, which I love. I love some of our, like, you know, our badass characters, especially our two, like our main character, or like our main villain. They're both really over the top. They both feel like, you know, we're badass. We're so cool. Check us out. And it's really cheesy and really fun. So great movie. It's kind of a zombie movie meets a martial arts movie. It's fun. I would recommend it. Versus is cool. Check it out. It's not gonna be for everybody, but it is an enjoyable movie. It's goofy. It's ridiculous. You gotta like a cheesy. It is a cheesy movie. I'm not gonna lie. It's cheesy. But if you like him cheeseball, check out Versus. This was great. I've been looking forward to checking this out for a while now. And this is Stories from the Mines. Very well done documentary. It's all about the kind of the history of anthracite coal here in the northeastern Pennsylvania. I'm actually from southeastern Pennsylvania, but I'm certainly close enough to coal country that I know a lot about it. I friends whose family members worked up in the coal mines. Every year I go up to Shamokin, up to Knoebels in Ellisburg, Pennsylvania, which is big coal mine country. So I've been on coal mine tours, and I know a lot about coal mining, and that's where this is actually from. This is from the Knoebels Anthracite Coal Museum that they have actually in the actual amusement park. There's an Anthracite Coal Museum, which is pretty cool. Check it out if you ever go. And this is DVDs from there. Great documentary. Again, it tells you all about how like kind of the history of the mining happened, and all this craziness that went on with people trying to like unionize, and how they were treated horribly, and the president having to like come in and help out like this big strike that went on. All this, just the history of how this whole industry evolved, and it's very interesting, very enjoyable. I do love how they even mention here about like capitalism, and how it got to the point where these big business owners were more powerful a lot of times than the actual president of the United States. And of course I'm thinking, hey, welcome to the world of capitalism. That's how capitalism works. We're not really a democracy anymore. We're run by businesses, and it all kind of started around the turn of the century with the industrial age. As soon as the industrial age started to come in, and all these big companies, coal companies and train companies, and all these big factory companies came into play, they got a lot of power, and capitalism was born. And it's still that way today. Big businesses are what run the country, unfortunately. But we're not here to talk about politics. This was a very well done, very enjoyable movie, and very enjoyable documentary. With that being said, would I recommend it? Yes, definitely recommend this one. But again, with that being said, how many of you are going to get a hold of this? Probably not many of you. I don't even know if this is sold outside of Knoebels. I'm sure it is. It looks like it would be. I'm sure you can find this online. But I'm sure a lot of you aren't probably going to come across this and have it in your collection anytime soon. But if you can get a hold of this, if you are interested in learning about coal mining, especially the anthracite coal mining in northeastern Pennsylvania, if you're interested in learning about that, that's something you want to check out, this is worth seeing. If you go to Knoebels amusement park, which is amazing. If you ever have the chance to go to Knoebels, go. It's an absolutely fantastic amusement park. I love it there. New roller coaster coming this year too. Very excited about that. Buy this. It's great. Very, very well done. Very enjoyable. If you love documentaries, it's worth seeing. Again, I know not everybody's going to get a hold of this one, but if you can, check it out. It's worth seeing. And then finally, last thing here I want to talk about quickly is 30 Nights of Paranormal Activity with the Devil Inside, the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. That is a long title. And this sucked. That's it. Should I just end it there? Of course it did. It's a spoof movie. But as I've said, I'm kind of a sucker. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, spoof movies. I don't think they're good. They're not. Spoof movies aren't good. But, some of them I like. Date movie, the scary movies. What else was there? There's so many more. Meet the Spartans. Stuff like that are just cheesy. They're ridiculous. They're bad movies. But I'm kind of a sucker for them. They're a bit of a guilty pleasure. I watch them, and I'm like, all right, I enjoy this to some extent, I guess. I get it. Definitely my guilty pleasure. If I had to say I had one guilty pleasure, I would say maybe spoof movies are. But some of them are just so bad and so poorly done that even I can't get into them. This being one of them. If you're a fan of spoof movies, this isn't one to see. This one was bad. It just felt forced. That's the thing. This one just felt really forced, I'd say. At least the other ones I felt like maybe tried a bit. This one just felt like they're like, let's just quickly throw some scenes together. Well, it's a movie. It wasn't. It's bad. It was horrible. It wasn't worth seeing. Again, if you're a fan of spoof movies, just stay away from this one. That's all I can say. If you don't like spoof movies, you're not going to want to see it. There's no reason to see this if you don't like spoof movies. And even if you do, it's not one to see. Stay away. I don't have much more to say about that. It was just garbage. I mean, I'm sure most of you are probably like, well, yeah, of course it was. Did you really expect it not to be? No, I guess I didn't. It sucked. Don't see it. Anyway, done with that one. Sorry. Need something to drink. My throat is like going dry. I actually made it through the whole thing without taking anything to drink. That was pretty amazing. All right, there we go. That's better. Okay, guys, so that is it. So that's everything I checked out over the last week or so. A lot of great stuff. Pretty much recommend everything to an extent. Like I said, this movie, the 30 Nights of Paranormal Activity with the Devil Inside, the Girl with the dragon tattoo. That sucks. You don't need to see that. Got Dumped wasn't very good either. I wouldn't recommend it, but at least it was better than the 3 Nights of Paranormal Activity. Give it that, but it wasn't good. Everything else, though, I would definitely recommend. Everything else was absolutely fantastic. All worth seeing. Like I said, see A Million Ways to Die in the West. I'm sure you've all heard bad things. See it anyway. It was great. I'd recommend it. So, anyway, guys, that is it. So, like I always say, if you like this video, please give me a like. Just click on the thumbs up tab down below. It takes 2 seconds, but it means the absolute world to me. I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. Really appreciate that. Also, if you are not already subbed, please do. I do a brand new daily sickness video for you guys every single day. Reviews like this, collection updates, unboxings, cinema hunting videos, just looks into my collection, just a look into my sickness for cinema on a daily scale. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm on 40 minutes in this video. My brain's starting to go now. So anyway, guys, hit that subscribe button if you want to see me every single day talking about something to do with my sickness for cinema. Again, brand new video for you guys every single day. Also, if you're not already over at cinemasickness.com, down below there's a link. Click on that link. Head over there. Check it out. There's a lot more to see there than just these videos. All kinds of updated information on deals that I find that are going on. Up-to-date information on what I'm currently up to. Also, if you like my videos while you're there, check out the videos from Team Sickness as well. All you gotta do is click on the Team Sickness tab over at cinemasickness.com. You can check out all their videos and all their reviews. And also while you're there, be sure to click on the merchandise tab and purchase yourself a Cinema Sickness sticker, a Cinema Sickness button, or a Cinema Sickness t-shirt, or hoodie, tank top, baby gear. It's all there at cinemasickness.com, including links to all my social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Listia, Amazon, everything. It's all there at cinemasickness.com. I'm going to go now. 40 minutes into this, my brain is starting to want to stop doing this video, so I'm done. So anyway, guys, like I said, check it all out. Don't check it out. Don't see these. See these. So anyway, guys, that's it. So hope you're having an absolutely fantastic Saturday. Hope you're having a great weekend. Hope tomorrow is a great Sunday for you. It's supposed to warm up a little bit. That's nice. Rain around here anyway, but at least supposed to warm up. So hope you guys are having a great weekend. And I will see you tomorrow on Saturday with probably something pretty cool to show you guys. I do have a video planned for tomorrow that's going to be pretty epic. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you then. Bye.